Do it if nobody else gonna do it. See it if nobody else gonna see it. Every time I close my eyes, I convince myself every day like this shit not worth it. Tav X Hebrews. Purity and becoming one. Family. We're gonna give it a few minutes, family, to see if anybody comes up in here. How could you be asleep? Stop in your face, you ain't gotta reach. All you gotta do is listen to me. Uni Big Tree says tuning in to say what's up, man. What's up with you, brother Uni Big Tree? Always a pleasure to see you here, brother. Hope all is well with you, brother. Just gonna give it a few minutes, y'all. Give it like, I don't know, 5 to 7 minutes to see if anybody's coming through. If they don't, they can catch it on the replay. Anybody coming in here? If this is your first time on this channel, I'd like to say Tav X. That means purity and becoming one. If you are not subscribed to this channel already, I definitely encourage you to hit that subscribe button and hit the bell for notifications so that you don't miss no videos. And I also encourage you to hit the like button, not because you like me, but because you like the truth. Y'all know we talk about the truth over here on this channel. The Most High and the Most High only. There is no other source of strength. There is no other Savior. No other salvation comes through anything or anyone except the Most High God in Him alone. Tav X Hebrews. Purity and becoming one. Y'all saw the title of this video. We're gonna talk about something real. Hit the like button as you enter the door, Hebrews. That's the only way to help these videos get shown, because y'all know they shadow ban this channel for real. They shadow ban all channels who push Most High and Most High only. Okay, and this channel is one of those channels. So the only way that this video is going to get shown to your brothers and sisters is if you hit the like button, if you share this video. Not because you like me, but because you know what I'm telling you is real. Okay? And at some point, it's going to save your life, family. Okay? Most people who believe in the Most High, they're going to tell you that you're crazy. I see Brother Ben Israel. I'm sorry, brother. I don't want to butcher the first part of your name, so I'll just call you Brother Ben Israel. And he says, glad to be here, Mr. Real Talk. They always cut me off. Yeah, I feel you, brother. You ain't getting cut off today, brother. You in the house. All right, family. Let's go listen to a minute or two of Psalms 144. How about that, family? And as you guys are coming through that door, I want you to hit that like button. Better yet, I want you to smash that like button. Because that's the only way that YouTube is going to show this video, y'all. And I want this video to get shown to as many people as possible. You know why? Because at some point, you're going to see, if you haven't seen already, all there is the Most High. The Most High has a truth. and that truth is his laws, okay? You're going to find out. You at a time now, if you refuse to anchor yourself in the laws of the Most High, which come out of the Old Testament, if you refuse to ground yourself in the Old Testament, you're going to be brutally, viciously killed by God, okay? Let's listen to a minute or two of Psalms 144, Hebrews, and then we're going to begin.
Blessed be Yahweh, my strength, which teacheth my hands to war, and my fingers to fight. My goodness, and my fortress,
My high tower,
and my
deliverer.
my shield.
This is Psalms 144, Hebrews.
And he in whom I trust.
We all should pray this,
Who
family.
subdueth my people under me. Yahweh, what is man that thou takest knowledge of him? Or the Son of Man that thou makest account of him?
Tav X Hebrews.
Man is like to vanity,
Purity and
His
becoming
days
one.
are as a shadow that passeth away.
Hebrew, I want you to share this video with somebody out there.
Heavens,
And if you look, if you too afraid to share it, if you too shy to share it,
and come
at least hit the like button
down,
and hit the bell for notifications
touch
and
the
subscribe.
mountains, and they shall smoke.
Come on.
Cast forth lightning.
Getting ready to begin, Hebrews.
Them.
At the 8-minute mark, we
Shoot
will
out
begin.
thine arrows and destroy them.
Please.
Send thine hand from above. Rid me and deliver me out of great waters, from the hand of strange children.
All praises to Yahweh
Whose mouth
and Yahweh
speaketh
only.
vanity,
Only.
and
No
their
other gods.
right hand
No other
is the
deities.
right hand of falsehood.
All right, Hebrews. Let's get into it, okay? And this is what I want to do. You guys seen the title of this video, okay? And I'm sure for anybody who clicks on this, for anybody who's here right now in this live, or whether you click on this video on the playback, you see the title. It's got your curiosity. Obviously, you clicked, right? You guys see what's going on if you're not living under a rock. The last 5 years, family, you've heard more talk about so-called aliens than you ever have the whole time you've been alive on planet Earth. These last 5 years, that's all you've been hearing about, okay? Now, what I want to do, I want to show you a clip, all right? Now, I'm just presenting information. I'm not going to tell you what to think. I'm not going to tell you what to believe. I'm merely going to do some reading to you. I'm going to show you a clip or two. And I got a really extensive clip. It's almost like a short film, right? I'm going to go over some of this stuff. I want to let you guys see what I'm going to show you. And I want to know what you guys think, okay? Now, first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to show y'all this clip, right? Now, this clip that I'm getting ready to show you, hold on. This is a clip of one of the people who said that they were down at Miami on New Year's when this last incident of so-called aliens, or they call them shadow beings, shadow figures. People are saying that on New Year's, y'all heard about it. People are saying that they saw, some people saying aliens, some people saying shadow figures, some people saying giants, demons, shadow giants, whatever, okay? I'm going to show you a clip of one of the guys who says he was a witness, who says he was there. And understand this, Hebrew. You guys know this. People only believe eyewitness accounts when they want to. It does not matter how many testimonies come out, how many stories come out. Every time somebody comes out with an alleged eyewitness account that people don't agree with, they say that they're lying, okay? This society has pushed nothing but lies since only God knows when. They would actually have you believe that we are alone. They would actually have you believe that there's only human beings on this earth, okay? But I know that that's a lie. I know that there are things on this earth that are not human, okay? But a lot of stuff I don't even go into because I don't just come on here and just talk about whatever I feel like talking about, okay? Even though I'm sure some of you guys feel the same way. Some of you guys got channels out there. You don't just come out and just talk about whatever you want, whenever you want. I'm sure some things you have not revealed, okay? And what I'm talking about today, I'm not revealing anything. This thing is already common knowledge to a lot of people. And the world has tried to hide things from you by telling you, don't read this, don't read that. Here's what I'm going to tell you. I'm not going to tell you what to read. I am going to tell you what to read, though. On the flip side, I'm going to tell you, start at point number 1. Start at point A. You need to totally immerse yourself in what people would call the Old Testament, the Tanakh. That's how you know right from wrong, good from evil. If you have an understanding of the Old Testament, then you understand you don't need the New Testament. The New Testament is hogwash. There's only one Yahweh. There's only one God of Israel, and he ain't got no partnership. He's the one who controls good and evil, okay? If you have a firm concept of that and to understand that God's laws never die, God's laws never get done away with, you don't pay homage to any other deity, you don't give praise, admiration, thanks, anything to any deity other than the Most High God. If you do, you're an idolater. Point blank. Outside of that, I won't tell you what to read. I will tell you you need to read the Tanakh in the Old Testament because that's what's going to save you. And that's how you can judge everything that you come across in this world. I don't care what kind of book it is. You know how you know if the book is lies or truth? The very moment that any book you read bucks up against the Tanakh, the Old Testament, God's laws, and God's testimony. The minute you see something that bucks against that, you toss it out. And then look, you don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. You chew the meat and spit out the bones. You guys, you got to remember, because I know you're smart, you know that these heathens put us in captivity for hundreds and hundreds of years. These heathens seized all of our possessions, including our Bible, including our Old Testament and Tanakh, and they did all kinds of addings and subtracting from our books, okay? You got to understand, Hebrew, you're not getting the whole story. And the part of the story that you do got, a lot of you don't understand that. Because many of you have not passed Hebrew 101. So these things that are coming on the earth, they're going to totally take you by storm. They're going to totally take you by surprise, okay? Like the fact that the Nephilim are here. The giants are here, and they've always been here. They've just been concealed. And now seems like the coming out party is in full effect. You might think that I'm making this up, but I promise you, at some point, you're going to see what I'm telling you is all facts. Not because I say so, but because God says so, okay? I want to show you guys a little bit of this clip. All right, hold up. Let me see. Fair use, fair use. Okay, because I'm showing this clip because I want y'all to see this. Fair use, fair use. Hebrew, if you're just now coming in here, hit that like button, family. Then Israel says, 100% right, Mr. Real Talk. That's right. Tell them, brother Ben Israel. Family, hit that like button if you're just coming in here. Hit the bell for notifications. Family, listen to this clip, okay? Listen. Hit the like button, family. Fair use, fair use.
Also, who had this statement.
What's up, y'all? I'm here to set the record straight, man. Like, I literally have been getting interrogated by the Miami Police Department for days, my dude. Look at me. It is really aliens. It's really aliens. And I cannot believe that the Miami Police Department is really gonna try to make it seem like they had all those police cars and stuff out there over some kids fighting, y'all. We talking about 3 and 4 blocks. We get in it, they asked us what we saw.
This dude is shaken up by this experience, y'all.
2 of my cousins and 1 of my homegirls. All 3 of us being basically locked the fuck up. I ain't trying to get in trouble or nothing like that, but I'm just telling y'all, man. This shit is so real, man. Like, everybody saw it. There will be more reports coming out.
What do y'all think, family?
There will be more reports coming out on this, man. But I just want to go on record and speak my truth. You know, they asked us not to speak about it. Any blog site, any news site, anybody who wants to talk to me, please give my DM, man. Because that's the only way I'm going to tell my whole truth. But I just want to let y'all know, man. Aliens are real. It was 3 of them. And we couldn't believe it.
You can't look at this dude's face and tell that he saw something, family.
Y'all like this video, get this video trending, and I post my own cell phone footage. They tried to actually take my cell phone footage. You know what I'm saying? I showed them that, thinking that I'm helping the world. They trying to delete it.
Y'all hear that?
If you delete something on your phone, they have recent delete.
Do y'all hear that?
Recently deleting, you have to put your password in. I wasn't willing to give them that. So, man, y'all get this video where it need to be, and I'm gonna go crazy.
Did y'all hear that? Family. Now look, now I know there are going to be a lot of skeptics out there. I understand that. Because we all been lied to our whole lives. They made you think that this world was one way when it's really something totally else. And here's why a lot of people not going to be able to grasp this. Like I said, many of us think that the planet that we live on is one way, and this planet Earth is the total polar opposite of what any of us think. Here's one example, right? How many of you out there know that Godzilla, I said it, how many of you out there know that Godzilla is real? I want to know if anybody out there on this live or on the playback, how many of you out there know that Godzilla is a real creature? But guess what? His name isn't Godzilla. His name is Leviathan. That's where Hollywood gets the script from about Godzilla. They stole it out of the Bible. He's called Leviathan, a fire-breathing beast, and it ain't no figure of speech. It ain't nothing allegorical. It's a physical fire-breathing beast in the bottom of the ocean. And he is going to do his thing when the Most High gives him the word. How many of you knew about Leviathan? How many of you out there understand that Leviathan is a physical creature, not an allegory, not spiritual, not a spiritual fire-breathing beast. This is a physical sea monster. And Hollywood stole the script from the Bible. They know that niggas don't read, and they know that even when they do read, they don't believe the Bible. So Hollywood stole a sea beast out of the Bible, changed his name to Godzilla. That's why Godzilla always comes up out of the water, because the Bible says Leviathan is in the depths of the ocean. And he breathes fire and smoke out of his belly and his nostrils. Mary Sanders says, I know. Ben Israel says, true fact, all praises to the mighty one of Jacob. That you brothers and sisters know that out there. And look, you guys know how many of our brothers and sisters do not know that. They think that that's an allegory. They think that that's spiritual. But all praises to the mighty one of Israel, the mighty one of Jacob, Yahweh. All praises to him that you brothers and sisters out here know that Leviathan is physical. There is physically in the depths of the ocean a fire-breathing killer, a creation of the Most High. Once you guys understand that you live on a planet where those kind of things can exist, where Godzilla actually exists, just with a made-up name in Hollywood, but the real Godzilla is Leviathan, and that he's actually real. When you understand that you live on a planet that has beasts like Leviathan in the ocean that breathes fire, then you will understand that this world is not the world that you think it is. Many of you think that the thought of a fire-breathing beast in the depths of the ocean, you think that that's sci-fi. You think that that's Disney movie or some made-up X-Men crap. Let me see. Brother Ben Israel says, Psalms 104 and 26. Mary Saunders says, I read the book about the Leviathan. All praises. And Mary Saunders, if you're not subscribed to this channel, you might be already, but if you're not, I encourage you to hit the bell for notifications and hit this like button. So look, family, once you realize that you live on a planet where Leviathan actually exists, I don't care if you've seen him or not. See, here's the thing. When you know that the Most High God doesn't lie, once you get a firm grasp of Hebrew 101 and you understand that that Old Testament is where it's at, once you grasp that, you will have no problem fully understanding that this world got things that you couldn't possibly conceive on and in the earth. You know what? And normally, I wouldn't have talked about this kind of stuff, but you know what? Apparently, now it's time. Apparently, now it's time. I talk about what the Spirit of the Most High moves me to talk about on this channel. That's how we go around here. And I guess for a while, it wasn't time to speak on those things. But guess what? I guess it is time now. You see me here doing it, don't you? I'm going to talk about what the Most High wants me to talk about around here. Point blank. And for the people who can't understand what's going on, or they think that I'm making this up, you know what? You'll find out soon enough. You will find out soon enough. 2024 is off to a quite hell of a start as far as other beings being seen. Seems as if 2024 is wasting no time bringing out truth. And you guys can say it's make-believe, it's cap. You can say that all you want. You're not going to stop it from being real, okay? Just like some of you guys out there will say, hey, the book of Enoch isn't real. That's not real. Oh, really? Oh, really? Now, I will ask you this. Where's your proof that it's not real? Where's your proof? Can you prove that? And don't read one random verse to me and say, see, it's not true. Don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Just like we had to be able to separate the New Testament from the Old Testament. We can't just throw the whole book out because the New Testament is filled with lies, because the Old Testament is filled with truth. So we don't just cast out all of the books because there's some lies in it. Do you see what I'm saying? You got to ground yourself in the Tanakh, in the laws of the Most High. And then you will be able to understand whenever you read any book what's righteous and what's not. you chew the meat, and you discard the bone. Just that simple, family. And you're going to find out whether you guys like it or not. Whether you believe something or not has no bearing on whether that thing is true or not. And I'm telling you, lots of stuff in the book of Enoch are true. That's why the oppressor, who is the so-called white man, the modern day oppressor, the last oppressor, he hid many things. He took many things out and he added many things as well. And one of the things that he tried to hide was the book of Enoch. And anybody out there who knows anything about the book of Enoch, you know why he tried to hide it, okay? Understand, the book of Enoch is an ancient book. Don't let them fool you. Don't let them fool you, okay? You think the guys in the Old Testament didn't know about the book of Enoch? You think that they didn't hold Enoch in high regard? You family, we gotta get this Roman Catholicism rule out of our mind. It's the Roman Catholics who always told you no, you can't read this, you can't read that, but they'll tell you can read the New Testament though. But don't read these older books. Don't read this. Don't read that. Don't read the book of Enoch, something that was written thousands of years before the Bible. Don't read that. Don't read that. God took Enoch to heaven, didn't let him die. But don't read what he wrote. Don't read that. And somebody tried to say, oh, that's not the real book of Enoch. How you know? How you know? Where's your proof? You got any proof for that? Of course not. You're going on hearsay. Well, around here, we prove everything, and we prove things with God's laws. Anything that bucks God's laws, we trash it out. Anything that coincides with God's laws, we fully embrace. And I'm telling you, the book of Enoch is of the Most High. But you got to be able to understand that for yourself. What I'm saying don't mean nothing. The longer you live, you'll get ready to see more and more exposures of whatever you guys want to call them. Some people saying aliens, some people saying shadow figures, some people saying shadow giants, okay? But if you read anything in the book of Enoch, the book of Enoch goes into deeper detail about all of that. Did you know that? Of course, many of you don't, because you're going to listen to the church, because that's where you get this stuff from. Don't read this, don't read that, don't read this. When you read the Old Testament, I want to say it's the book of Joshua, where he talks about the book of Jasher. Joshua talking about the book of Jasher. How come Jasher is not in the Testament Bible if Joshua was talking about it? If Joshua reads the book of Jasher, you think me and you shouldn't be reading it too? And Joshua is a Old Testament only Hebrew, y'all. It was good enough for Joshua. It should be good enough for you. Okay? You keep the Most High God's laws and you worship him and him alone. He will direct your path. Because look, family, you better get your shit together because you're getting ready to see some shit a lot of people not going to be able to take, just like people are freaking out about what they saw in Miami. Now, I wasn't there, so I don't know exactly what they saw, but I know they saw something, and you can say no, no, no all you want. You ain't going to stop it from being true. Now, I got a very, very extended clip I want you guys to see. Yahweh's portion, good to see you, brother. He says, Shalom, family, Yahweh Akkad. That's right, brother. Mary A. Saunders says, I am subscribed. All praises. Okay, family, now look. Now, I told y'all, you saw what the title was about. The Nephilim giants are here. Understand this, family. There were giants in the earth in those days. Go back to Genesis chapter 6. There were giants in the earth in those days. And after that, after what? After the flood. Me and you live after the flood. The flood has already happened. And the Old Testament lets you know there were giants in the earth in those days and after that as well. We live after that. Moses lived after that. King David lived after that. Joshua lived after that. All of those guys was fighting giants. Moses was killing giants. Joshua killed a hell of a lot of giants. They downplay this when you go to church, y'all. A lot of these races and stuff that was around inside these lands, these were giants that the Israelites was killing. But they downplay that joint to y'all in church, y'all. But you know what? The cat is out of the bag now. You can try as much as you want to hamper or to hinder the truth. Nobody can stop the truth. When it's time for the truth to come out, you're going to get your ass steamrolled by this truth. Straight like that. Okay? There were giants in the earth in those days and after that. Okay? In the time of Moses, the time of Joshua, there were giants out there that made the Israelites look like grasshoppers. Now, I want you to pause right there. I want you to pause right there. Anybody watching this video right now, I want you to pause in your mind and think about that. In the time of Moses, the time of Joshua, there were giants in the land that made the Israelites look like grasshoppers. Do you know how big them damn giants had to be? And it doesn't matter if you guys believe that. It's written right there. So it doesn't need you to believe it. The truth is the truth. It doesn't need me to believe. It doesn't need you to believe. You're not going to stop the truth from being the truth, family. Giants made them look like grasshoppers. And guess what? Even right now, as I'm speaking to you, there are giants in the earth right now. Not just in one spot. The United States of America used to be overpopulated with giants. But the demonic, satanic Smithsonian, you can thank them for hiding and destroying lots of the evidence. And you're going to find out why they did that. You're going to find out, family. For all of you out there that say the book of Enoch is fake, guess what? You are going to be proven wrong. And that doesn't mean you're a bad person. It means you're a human being. Humanity has been deceived. People started off with the church telling us that the sons of God, they're not angels, those are men. You can read Genesis 6 again and again and again. But because of the indoctrination that's been placed on you, the same people who told you that those sons of God are men, those are the same people who are the seed of the Nephilim, telling you that. Those are the people who run planet Earth, family, but many of us can't wrap our heads around that. You're not going to be able to see it because you don't understand who you're taking your orders from. When somebody told you, hey, you can only read these books. The so-called Catholic Christian Church said only 66 books. And we found out that they added the New Testament on with all the lies and made it seem like it was just one book because that's what they do. They add and they take away from the book. I think that's Deuteronomy 4 and 6 or 6 and 4. They did what God said not to do. They added and they took away. Like I said, the book of Joshua makes reference to the book of Jasher. Why is that not included in the Old Testament? Because the same people who added the New Testament to the Old Testament is the same people who took away the book of Jasher, the book of Jubilees, the book of Baruch, all of that kind of stuff, family. Made sure that the book of Enoch was demonized so that you would never read it. You think about what I'm telling y'all. Because you better think about it. Because the time is here. These giants are here. Okay? All this twiddling and fiddling around with the CERN machine. Yes, CERN is real. Opening up dimensions and portals. You guys can think this is a game if you want. Where do you think they're getting the knowledge at to open up these portals? Where do you think they're getting it from? They're getting it from their fathers. The Nephilim. Family, y'all can laugh, y'all can shuck, y'all can say this is not real. Genesis chapter 6. Those sons of God are not men. That's why it tells you they saw the sons of men. It doesn't say, and the sons of men saw the daughters of men. It said, and the sons of God saw the daughters of men. It's right there in our face, family. But because we have so long, we've went with the narrative, and many of us don't even know where that narrative comes from. Oh, those sons of men, those are sons of God, those are human. You don't even know who started that narrative. You don't know. Watch this, family, before I show y'all this clip. Anybody in here right now, you're going to want to stick around because you're going to want to watch this extended clip. I don't know how much I'm going to show of it, but I'm going to show enough that you get the gist. But first, I want to read this. The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 1 and verse 9. Listen, Hebrew, the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 1, verse 9. The thing that have been is that which shall be. And that which is done is that which shall be done. and there is no new thing under the sun. Do you hear that, family? I'll read that again. Ecclesiastes 1 and 9. The thing that hath been is that which shall be, and that which is done is that which shall be done. And there is no new thing under the sun, family. The thing that have been is that which shall be. Well, we know what hath been. There hath been giants in the earth in those days and after that. So if that what hath been, guess what, family? Guess what? Do I got to tell you? That's what it's going to be. That's what it's been being. That's what it was. So that's what it's going to be. I hope that you can understand that. Somebody out there needed to hear that. Hopefully that's going to help you understand this, family. Now watch this. You're going to go. I'm going to read this one more verse, then I'm going to show y'all this extended clip. Family, this is going to be good. You're going to like what I got to show y'all. If you like the truth. If you want to get to the bottom of the lies. If you want to know what's coming your way soon. Listen. But I'm going to read this, though, to prove what we're talking about. The book of Numbers. The book of Numbers, chapter 13, verse 33. Listen, Hebrews, the book of Numbers, chapter 13, verse 33. And there we saw the giants. And there we saw the giants, the sons of Anak. Do y'all know who that is? Do y'all know who Anak is? Anak. You ever heard of the Anunnaki? Just another slick way that they try to dress up the so-called fallen ones, okay? Just another one they're trying to dress, or the Watchers. You can call them what you want because there was no fight in heaven. Angels are not trying to fist fight with God. The Most High God would slay them in a heartbeat, okay? There wasn't no fighting going on in heaven. But there were watchers who were supposed to watch, but they decided to engage in their lust, okay? And there we saw the giants, the sons of Anak. Those are the Anunnaki. I know y'all heard of them. Go look up the Anunnaki or go look up Anak. Giants. And that's why it says there we saw the giants, comma, the sons of Anak. Letting you know that Anak was a giant. Which come of the giants, and we were in our own sight as grasshoppers, and so we were in their sight. Do y'all see that? Hey, family, did y'all see that? They said that they looked like grasshoppers compared to them. And even in the sight of the giants, they look like grasshoppers. Think how big that is. There's a scripture in the Old Testament that says the giants, some of them were as tall as a cedar tree. Now look, you don't have to believe that, family. Uni Big Tree has the feather emoji. I feel you. Feather emoji. The natives, the aboriginals, the Hebrews. The sons of Anak are giants, family. Okay? The Bible I just read it to you. They saw the sons of Anak, Anunnaki, the giants. They were so big, they made the Israelites look like grasshoppers. And there's one scripture that even says more than that. It says that some of those giants were big as a cedar tree. Family, do you know how big a cedar tree is? We're talking hundreds of feet tall. Family, you don't understand what kind of world that you live in. Everything has been hidden from you. Now watch this. I'm getting ready to show y'all this extended clip, right? Family, if you're in here on this live stream right now, I want you to hit the like button. If you're not subscribed already, hit the bells for notifications, okay? Fair use, fair use. Because y'all know how they get. Y'all know how they get, family. Fair use, fair use. Family, hit that like button. Subscribe, hit the bell so that you get all notifications. I'm going to show you a clip, and I want to know what you guys think about this. Feel free to talk and converse right here in this chat as we watch this clip, okay? Listen, family. Fair use, fair use.
Master CX90.
Fair use, fair use.
Stay alert, boys. Keep an eye on the camping. Roger.
The year is 1942. Japanese forces have entrenched themselves throughout the Solomon Islands, which lie just to the northeast of Australia. Allied forces moved quickly to rout them out of the strategic island chain, the United States Navy heading first toward the island of Guadalcanal. But while the Japanese were busily preparing their Solomon Island defenses and air bases in the sweltering jungle heat, they remained entirely unaware of another kind of enemy. Even if any of the beleaguered Solomon Islanders had wanted to warn the Japanese invaders about what monstrous beings ostensibly lived in the island's innermost regions of unexplored jungle, they probably wouldn't have believed them anyway. But as the Marines stormed onto the beaches of Guadalcanal, and the following U.S. Army divisions arrived to push the Japanese soldiers further and further towards the island's center, terrifying rumors began to spread that something was killing off their men from their rear flanks. Something massive. Something unbelievable. Something that was eating the men alive. This is the story of the Solomon Island Giants. The mist which hangs before you, to pass through, beyond it are stories which defy and fly in the face.
Fair use, fair use.
Reality.
An impossibility.
A superstition.
You alone are left to discern what to believe as you pass through what we call the fog.
Hit the like button, family. Listen up. Hit that like button and share this video, family. This is real right here. True
Before
story.
1941, the idea of World War II was an abstract concept for Solomon Islanders. The war was happening far away in Europe, or at worst, in the mainland regions of Asia, which was still thousands of miles away. But following the attack on Pearl Harbor, the island began to finally experience the far-reaching impacts of the war. Britain began evacuating their colonial settlers off the islands and sending local workers either back to their villages or into hiding to prepare for a potential invasion. Sure enough, with the Japanese Empire's aim to create a defensive buffer against attack from the Allied forces, in May of 1942, the Solomon Islands would become the furthest extent of their military island outposts, far to the south of Japan. They quickly occupied the primary islands, beginning the construction of an airstrip on Guadalcanal, along with other floatplane bases and defensive fortifications. With this occupation threatening to cut communication and shipping lines between Australia and the United States, and leave Australia exposed to a possible invasion, the US moved quickly to initiate their own counter-invasion strategy to retake the islands. The US chose the island of Guadalcanal as its first counterpunch on dry land, with the 1st Marine Division landing on August 7, 1942. During the prior invasion, the Japanese soldiers faced little to no resistance from a largely peaceful and unarmed population of local islanders. The Japanese Imperial Army's following treatment of the island natives was nothing less than abysmal during their invasion and short-lived occupation. The Solomon Islanders quickly began to hate the Japanese invaders for their cruelty, not only to them, but to the thousands of Korean forced laborers they brought with them. The Islanders thus did all they could to work against the Japanese and assist the American forces before and during their island campaigns. Prior to the war, the Royal Australian Navy had implemented a coast-watching intelligence network, which was comprised of civilians, district officers, plantation owners, and even missionaries. Upon discovering the Coast Watchers' existence, the Japanese, of course, tried to root them out, but failed time and time again. While these Coast Watcher men may not have been capable of hand-to-hand combat, they knew the islands far better than the Japanese. They were thus skilled at eluding capture, remaining hidden in the dense jungle, while spying on the Japanese and providing Allied forces with regular radio reports on Imperial troop movements. Apparently, it was a Coast Watcher who alerted the Australians to the Japanese airbase construction on Guadalcanal, who then passed this information along to the Americans, which was the reason the island was chosen for their initial assault. With the help of the Coast Watchers and the Australian Navy, the American forces quickly overran the Japanese coastal defenses. However, the entire campaign to retake the islands would still last for a total of 6 long and bloody months.
Fair use.
After losing their foothold on the beaches, the Japanese began pulling back their forces towards the center of their respective island. They maintained an offensive strategy by way of guerrilla tactics, conducting raids on the American forces, before once again retreating back into the dense jungle. The mountainous jungle terrain was very difficult to navigate, making it a slow effort for the American soldiers and Marines to pursue their enemy. Some islands were cleared of enemy troops within days. Others took the entirety of 6 months. But as the Americans forced them further and further towards the central, unexplored regions of the island jungle,
Listen up, Hebrew.
horrifying rumors then began to circulate amongst the Japanese soldiers.
Listen up.
Reports were now being made about their men encountering giant, hairy creatures.
You hear that?
Giant men. These giants were described as being between 8 to 15 feet tall, with red eyes, some of which were covered in shaggy black, brown, or red hair. But while many such stories have come about during other military campaigns, stories about man-like ape creatures, such as the rock apes or Patutut in Vietnam, these giants were considered an entirely different kind of creature. They were said to be much more human, and they carried massive stone clubs, spears, and other rudimentary weapons.
Giants.
When encountered, these giants were said to mercilessly attack the Japanese men who were unfortunate enough to stumble across them, smashing them with them, carrying them off screaming, or even tearing them apart and eating them alive on the spot.
Eating them.
Other stories describe the giants displaying territorial acts, bellowing loudly and ripping entire trees out of the ground in massive displays of strength. The terrified Japanese soldiers then scattering into the jungle. The men then tried to hide, laying low to the ground throughout the night, hearing the nerve-wracking sounds of these monstrous beings crashing through the dense jungle around them, hunting them. Sleep became impossible for the Japanese, not only from abject terror, but from the sounds of the giants' bellowing howls and the abruptly silent screams of fellow soldiers piercing the night air.
Do y'all hear? They're in Solomon Islands, just northeast of Australia in 1942, Japanese soldiers encountering man-eating giants. Family, there have been plenty of documentaries, witnesses for this. Hit the like button if you're just now coming through. Hit the bell for notifications and subscribe. Listen up, family. Fair use.
As the battle raged on over the following weeks, during the daylight hours, the Japanese men had the American forces to contend with on their front lines. And by night, they now lived in a constant state of terror, unable to sleep for fear of what would happen to them if they were found by the giants.
P&H is here to make...
Fair use. Fair use. Family, did y'all hear that? Did y'all hear that, family? I'm going to play a few more minutes of it. I want you to hear this. This is 1942 we talking about. How come most people don't know about this? Because these people lie about everything and they hide everything. The people who run this world, they are the seed of the Nephilim. That's why they don't want you to know. I can't make this up, family. Fair use, fair use. Hit the like button, family.
It must mean that at least some of the Japanese soldiers survived to tell them. Captured by American troops, terrified by what they had seen, we can imagine these men would have seemed completely delusional when recounting their experiences to their captors. It should be pointed out that the thought of surrendering was unthinkable for a Japanese soldier, whatever the circumstances, although the idea of being ripped apart by giants would likely not have ever occurred to them. But traditionally speaking, their orders were to return home victorious, to die while fighting, or to honorably take their own lives if they were defeated. Many Japanese soldiers were of course taken captive during the war, but culturally, dating as far back to their samurai warrior ethos, the Japanese Imperial Army viewed survival following defeat as a shameful disgrace. If it was Japanese soldiers who came out of those jungles raving about man-eating giants, what became of these men is now unknown. 80 years later, their stories are now considered myths, at least to most people living outside the Solomon Islands. But bizarre as it sounds, many among the islanders themselves would assure us these kinds of stories are quite possibly true. For locals, the existence of giants on their island, even their continued existence today, is no myth. It is a commonly accepted fact.
Y'all hear that? It's not a myth.
The Solomon Islands remain an impoverished and developing country until today, and much of the nation's past has unfortunately been lost to undocumented history. But it is known that by the year 1942, much of the inner regions of the island jungles had long remained unexplored, even by locals. These dense jungles and much of what lives in them remain a complete mystery, even today.
Did you hear
The reason
that?
for this is found in the islanders and
People have been scared to death over there since encountering these giants. Family, this is 1942 be talking. That's not that long ago. The giants are still here, and they're going to be making a grand entrance, maybe sooner than later.
ancestral origins. A couple hundred years ago, the Solomon Islanders were comprised entirely of highly territorial, tribal people. These people were known to be headhunters and even cannibals. Always at war with one another, these people lived in fortified encampments, possibly even treetop dwellings, for their safety and protection against not only dangerous animal life, but against enemy tribes. When Christian missionaries began arriving to the islands in the 1800s, the religious conversion that took place over the following decades brought an end to these tribal wars, thus eliminating the need to continue living in fortified villages in the hard-to-reach, mountainous jungle interiors. Instead, islanders then began building their peaceful village settlements closer to the beaches. This, of course, set the stage for the perfect, secluded environment for a species of cryptid monsters to now thrive in.
AKA
Over the following 2
giants.
centuries, the interior jungles and what might live there became increasingly unknown, and few locals risked exploring too far into them. But something that did survive over the centuries were the local legends. As much as Europeans might have sung songs or told fables about man-eating predators to keep children from wandering too far into the wild forests, the island people told their children stories about something less conventional than wolves or bears. They told horrifying stories about cannibalistic giants. But why?
Did y'all hear that? Cannibalistic giants. Sounds a little familiar, don't it? Any of you body out there ever read any parts of the Book of Enoch? The Book of Enoch tells you that the giants ate up all the substance of the land. And when they ate up all the substance of the land, there was no more food. Then the giants turned on humanity and started eating the men. Do you hear what I'm saying to you, family? Look, you guys don't have to believe it. You can say I'm making it up. I'm not making anything up. I study and I read and I pay attention, okay? And somebody out there, I know somebody would try to say, oh man, he's breaking God's laws. He's reading the Book of Enoch. Where does God's law say I can't read the Book of Enoch? How does me believing that there were giants in the earth, just like Genesis said, how does it make me a disbeliever, or how am I going against the Most High by telling you that there were man-eating giants in the earth? And the Book of Enoch told you that they were eating the people. Now you see these people right here in 1942 in Solomon's Island, just to the northeast of Australia, telling you stories about man-eating giants. Japanese soldiers encountered man eating giants in 1942. But y'all gonna tell me I'm crazy. You're gonna say that the book of Enoch is false. Well, why these people over here next to Australia say they encountered man-eating giants? All these people are not lying. Your problem is you don't think that there are giants in the earth anymore because you don't understand Genesis chapter 6.
Ask a local, even today, and they will tell you why. Because these giants are real. The Second World War seems to have merely cast an unexpected international spotlight on their existence. Nicholas Cox is a field archaeologist who has explored these islands in recent years in search of the long-abandoned remains of Japanese island fortifications and wartime artifacts, now buried in 80 years of jungle overgrowth. His interest in the Solomon Islands began in 2019 when a friend mentioned to Nick that he had worked on a Solomon Islands forestry in 1995, his friend being the first non-islander to see the remains of World War II Japanese tunnels on the island of Kalamangara. Nick then excitedly began planning his own expedition to the islands, and it was during his preliminary research for this expedition that he stumbled across these accounts of Japanese soldiers supposedly encountering terrifying gigantic men. He noted that these stories about the Japanese encountering giants have largely been circulated by non-Japanese sources. However, these same stories do of course circulate in both English and Japanese-speaking cryptozoological forums,
Do you see this?
and other websites, with Japanese people referring to these beings as titans.
Do you hear this,
As
family?
the stories were, Nick was disheartened to find no actual documented personal accounts or anecdotes from individual Japanese soldiers. Somewhat
Sure.
deflated by this lack of evidence, he started to think that the stories may be entirely fabricated. Upon reaching the islands, however, his interest in the stories was almost immediately rekindled. When he asked about giants, the locals' attitude towards the existence of them was shockingly mundane. They said it was entirely true, without any hint of the existence of such giants being mythological.
Let me read that comment. Brother Uni Big Tree says, I was just about to mention Attack on Titans right as he said that. How crazy is that, Brother Uni Big Tree? This is real, family. Do y'all hear this? Family, if you haven't hit the like button already, hit that like button to help other Hebrews see this video as well. Fair use, fair use.
Much to his surprise, some of the islanders he spoke with even assured him of the giants' ongoing existence even until today.
You hear that?
Other islanders said they believed the giants had gone extinct, or possibly, because of their violent natures, had killed each other off hundreds of years ago, at least by the time the Christian missionaries had started arriving to the islands. As for the stories involving Japanese soldiers, while no locals could confirm the stories themselves, they stated that they very well could be true. And if the giants do exist, they said, the island's interior regions are exactly where anyone would find them.
Y'all hear that,
Few, if
family?
any, locals ever explore so far into the interior jungles, in part because of their very real fear of what might live there. During these conversations with the island people, who are primarily all devout Christians, along with the stories about legendary giants, they also acknowledged their family connections to headhunter tribes. They possess an ancestral history of which many locals expressed a feeling of remorse, and yet also a kind of morbid fascination with regard to the violent and cannibalistic behavior of their ancestors. Because the giants themselves are also thought to be cannibalistic, some islanders believe that their native ancestors were cannibals because their culture was influenced by their prolonged contact with these violent man-eating giants. While many
Did you hear that,
of
family?
the islands
Their prolonged contact with man-eating giants. And yes, Brother Uni Big Tree says, forced converts to Christianity. Exactly, brother. But you see how they said that? They said it nice and smooth, like the Christians were nice. They forgot to tell you that they forced them into conversion to Christianity. Damn devils. Fair use, family. I hope that you guys are enjoying this. I want you guys to know the truth.
in the Solomon Island chain are said to have no giant populations to speak of, Nick was told that the island of Melita.
Uni Big Tree says devout. They did say devout. You see how they lied?
A local man named Ishmael claimed that
They forced those people to be devout. And you know that they did violence on the people on this island to get them to join Christianity.
he himself was descended from these giants, and that among his lineage was a particular giant who was a notable figure, a celebrated warrior from a tribe of giants on the island of Melita, who lived during the colonial period when headhunters still thrived.
Do y'all hear this, family? This is not ancient days. This is recent. This is right now. The giants are here, family. One of you out there on this channel at some point, somebody's gonna see something, y'all.
Al explained that while many giants lived in the jungles, others, like his ancestral line, lived in the cave systems. Despite being separated on the surface by miles of ocean, there are locals who even believe some of the islands are linked by these extensive cave systems.
Y'all hear that?
Whether Ishmael's family history is believable or not, this idea of strange beings or cryptids remaining isolated by living in deep underground cave systems
Do you hear
is
that?
not an uncommon belief around the world.
Deep underground cave systems. Is that perhaps why you haven't been seeing them? Because they are still here. Are any of you out there watching this on this live or on the playback? Are you familiar with the giants of Afghanistan? Is there anybody watching this video who's familiar with the giants of Kandahar? Said to be orange, giant-sized, orange, red-headed men that the U.S. Army has had evidently had a handful of run-ins with this thing. Some people are claiming that that's why the U.S. Army got up out of Afghanistan so damn fast. Fair use. Family, if you haven't watched, if you're coming in here late, when this uploads, go back and watch the whole thing. If you're not subscribed to the channel, hit the bell right now and hit the like button, family.
World, whether or not it ties into the hollow earth theory that many ascribe to. As for the ancestral origin of the giants, among the Solomon Island people exists an understanding that, although they are a distinctly separate creature, whatever the original lineage of these giants is, it was born out of humanity.
What? Did you hear that? Born out of humanity. Sounds like the Watchers went in unto the daughters of men. That's what that is, family. Look, anybody out there, you might have a hard time believing that, or you might say, no, that's not true. You might say that you don't believe that. Family, that's okay. As long as one thing that you do believe, worship the Most High and Him alone. As long as you stay with that, then family, I'm rocking with you, okay? Because we are not going to agree on everything, not until the Most High gets back on the scene. Then we're going to agree on all things. But right now, family, the most important thing that we agree on is to keep the Most High's commandments and to worship the Most High and praise the Most High and Him alone. This right here, this is something extra right here. And I'm saying this with you guys because I want you to be aware of what's going on. Because only the Most High knows. You could walk out of your front door one day and see a damn giant. You could see some damn shadow figure. Because look, family, you do know that these Gentiles have figured out how to open up portals, right? You guys, I'm sure you guys have heard of the CERN machine, right? And they were successful at opening up portals. So you should not be surprised at anything from here on out, especially when you understand that there's a fire-breathing beast in the depths of the ocean named Leviathan. Once you realize that you live in that kind of world, this other stuff should seem like small fries, family.
The name Solomon Islands itself comes from scripture, named after King Solomon. With the islanders now being primarily Christian, they may inherently ascribe the giants' lineage to that of a race of giants known in the Old Testament as the Nephilim.
Oh, did y'all hear that again? Family, this is in our law book, the Old Testament, the Tanakh, the Nephilim. The Nephilim ain't never went nowhere, family. They were here and they're still here today. Don't let nobody tell you otherwise, family. in the earth in those days and after that. That's in the Old Testament, y'all. The Old Testament is facts.
As such, because of their genetic lineage being traced back to humans, it is believed that they can thus still interbreed with humans.
You hear
The
that?
islanders even have stories about this happening. For instance, the Guadalcanal people and many other Solomon Islanders all know the story of Mango, a
Check
local
this
woman who
out.
passed away in the year 2000.
Listen,
The
family.
story goes that around 1950, only a few years after she had disappeared from her village. After failing to find her, everyone eventually gave her up for dead. That is, until she was found, 25 years later, hysterically frothing at the mouth, clearly mad, in a garden on the northeast coast of Guadalcanal. Seeing that she was heavily pregnant and in need of help, the men captured her with some difficulty. Sadly, she remained mentally unstable for the rest of her life, but she was at least nursed back to the brink of sanity, enough to explain what had happened to her. Nothing much was ever said about the entire 25-year period of her absence, but she was able to communicate that she had been taken captive by a giant who had taken her as a wife. She claimed she was eventually impregnated by this giant, which was the child she was now carrying. Through her pregnancy, she eventually gave birth to what the locals believed was a half-caste boy. The boy lived to the age of 5, at which point, for some unknown reason, one of Mango's brothers, the boy's uncle, is said to have killed him. Some islanders are said to know where the boy is buried, and according to others, Mango is evidently just one of several women to whom this type of thing has happened. Whatever you do.
Did y'all hear that, family? And maybe, just maybe, that boy's uncle killed him when he was 5 years old because he knew that that boy wasn't all the way human. Maybe he knew that that boy, even though it was his nephew, that boy was an abomination. So that's probably why he killed him. Can't make this up, family. 1968, everything is everything. What is meant to be will be. Deuteronomy 28. You are absolutely right on that one. Fair
In the
use,
Solomon
fair
Islands.
use.
The author, Marius Boreon, began living in the Solomon Islands in 1995, following the end of his own military career as an aircraft/helicopter engineer with the Royal Australian Air Force. Within his book are 2 more similar instances to the story of Mango, where Guadalcanal women have been taken by the giants. He also recounts many of the oral histories that were told to him by the islanders. These included stories about their ancestral tribes fighting literal wars with giants.
Now look, do y'all hear that, family? Family, did y'all hear that? He's talking about ancestors having literal wars with giants. Now I'm gonna ask you, who does that sound like? We know the ancient Israelites was constantly fighting with giants, okay? Even in this modern day, on this land of America, the real aboriginal American Indians, they have tales that they were fighting giants on this land right here, wars with the giants. y'all, y'all see what they doing, right? I'm telling y'all. Uni Big Tree says they sound like Israelites. Exactly. Because guess what, family? The other nations don't have the skills, they don't have the power of God, and they don't have the balls to have wars against giants. These people sound like Israelites to me, family. Family, they lied to us literally about everything. We know that ancient Israelites always had wars against the giants, and we know right here on American soil, the Aboriginal American Indians got plenty of tales of them having wars with giants right here on American soil. Family, they've been lying to us. The giants have been concealed for a while. They back now. They are here. And check this out. I got a feeling that somebody on this channel is going to see something this year. This year, next year, sometime soon. I have a feeling that somebody on this channel who watches this channel is going to see something that they can't explain. They cannot explain. Maybe they're going to see a giant. Maybe they're going to see a shadow figure. Maybe you're going to see something that these Gentiles have brought through with that CERN machine, because yes, they have been working to open up portals, and yeah, they've been successful. Okay, they're getting their know-how from these entities, from these evil entities, from these Nephilim. And guess what? Once again, if you guys know anything about the book of Enoch, you know that some of the invisible evil spirits on this earth are the disembodied souls of the giants. Because according to Enoch, once they die, their spirit cannot go up. They're not allowed to go back up. According to the book of Enoch, they stay right here and they roam the earth in spirit form, also called evil spirits. Okay? Y'all don't understand what kind of world you live in. Like I said, the majority of you still don't understand that Godzilla is real. Now, the name Godzilla is fake, but the fire-breathing beast in the depths of the ocean, that's real. He's called Leviathan. You can read about him in the book of Job. Sea-breathing serpent, beast, sea monster. Okay? Breathes out smoke and fire from his belly and his nostrils. His skin is impenetrable. That's a real-life Godzilla. That's where Hollywood got Godzilla from. They stole it from the Bible. But you guys still don't know what kind of planet that you live on. There are beings that live inside of planet Earth. A lot of you guys still can't handle that. You're not ready for that yet. All the knowledge that you had has been stripped away from you. And many of us now, because of that, we're scared to death of knowledge. I mean, terrified. And you know what? I can understand that. Especially when you haven't passed Hebrew 101, when you don't realize that there's only the Most High and Him alone, and that you are to keep His commandments, you're going to be confused about a lot of things. You're not going to understand. If you walk out your house right now and you saw a shadow figure out there, a shadow giant, or a physical giant, many of you would freak out and pass out. You wouldn't be able to believe what you're seeing. You would think that, you wouldn't know what to think. I'm trying to give you a heads up because, like I said, I got a feeling that somebody on this channel is going to witness something, going to see something, okay? Just being able to perceive things alone in the spirit, you should be able to feel spirits out there, good ones and evil ones, okay? You should be on a quest for knowledge. Don't let nobody tell you you got enough knowledge. You should always be seeking, looking for more. But you got to do first things first. First, pass Hebrew 101, and then you worry about more knowledge. I'm trying to give you a heads up before you see something that causes you to crap your pants, Hebrew. Fair use, fair use. I'm going to give a couple of more minutes of this clip, and then we're going to get out of here.
Get ready to
Fair use, fair use. Family, if you haven't already, hit the bell for notifications. Subscribe to this channel for more videos. Also, hit the like button so that this video gets shared with your brothers and your sisters. Fair use, fair use.
With the Royal Australian Air Force. Within his book are two more similar instances to the story of Mango, where Guadalcanal women have been taken by the giants. He also recounts many of the oral histories that were told to him by the islanders. These included stories about their ancestral tribes fighting literal wars with giants, on occasions when the giants began killing the islanders, either for food or seemingly just for sport.
Do you hear that? The giants were killing the islanders for food. And that may sound strange to you guys. Remember, this is in the 1940s we talking now. 1940s. That may sound strange to you. But if you've read any part of the book of Enoch, Enoch told you that the giants eat people. Don't sound too strange now, does it? Doesn't sound like the book of Enoch is a fairy tale now, does it?
Brazenly raiding their villages, as with the Japanese stories, there are horrible accounts of the giants eating people alive on the spot. Numerous village chiefs then sent their warrior hunting parties after them, only for them to return in vain with fewer and fewer warriors. From the accumulation of this research, it occurred to Marius that the giants had, for a time, considered the Solomon Islander people like pigs to be eaten. He believes one of the...
Do you hear that? I don't know. Maybe in these end times, maybe some of the 2/3, some of the wicked, maybe they will be eaten by giants. Who am I to say? I don't know. I know back in the 1940s, people were getting eaten by giants on Solomon's Island, but y'all think that this is make-believe, right? Getting ready to find out. Buckle up.
The major reasons why the Solomon Island population is far smaller than they should be is because with over 5,000 years of giants on the islands treating humans as food to be eaten, those people never had the opportunity to breed. He additionally suggested that from his own studies, his opinion on why the giants stopped hunting the island people is a culmination of three things: a war among the giant tribes that took place sometime in previous centuries, the introduction of firearms to the islands, and, quite bizarrely, alien intervention. Suffice it to say, the book makes for an interesting read. Having read this book during his expedition research, when he was interviewed in 2021 on the Into the Portal podcast, Nicholas Cox offered his own opinion on Bourion's work. Nick acknowledged that, despite his fascination with exploring any combination of military history and cryptozoology, such crossovers seem to always tread a fine line between reality and far-fetched conspiracy. He pointed out that Marius's book is heavily criticized by skeptics because of the author's frequent and seemingly sporadic deflection.
Uni Big Tree says alien slash. Uni Big Tree says alien slash possibly angelic. Facts. Facts, brother Big Tree.
Into his theories about world order governments, alien cover-ups, and his knowledge of the existence of subterranean UFO bases.
Intervention, if he's going to say that. Yup. You're right, brother.
On the islands. If not only to add to the growing weirdness of this story, as indicated by Marius in his book, the islands are evidently no stranger to UFO sightings. There's at least one undocumented incident where American sailors...
1968 says the movie. 1968 says the movie King Kong 1976 is based on a big giant black nigger from the jungle who falls in love with a white girl. Laugh out loud. 1968. Hey, look, 1968. I don't know who you are, but I think that you might be a Gentile. 1968. State who you are right now. Are you a Gentile or are you a Hebrew Israelite? Because you can't be in here calling the brothers niggas using this racial slurs. You're going to get blocked like that. So state who you are.
Described seeing dozens of bright orbs flying in a diamond formation over their ships during the invasion of Guadalcanal. Believing it to be some kind of new Japanese weapon, their defenses were scrambled, but the UFOs eventually disappeared without incident and were ultimately forgotten about in the following invasion. With regard to the existence of giants, however, there is another intriguing account that is attributed to Bourion and his time spent living on the islands. On the island of Guadalcanal is a gold mine, aptly called Gold Ridge Mine.
Listen to this, Hebrew.
Reasons, over the last 30 years, it has gone in and out of being an active mining project. But in the mid-90s, shortly following an extensive negotiation with the island government for the approval of the mining efforts, the mining company was finally given the green light to begin clearing out the surrounding jungle to open up the gold mine. At some point during excavation, one of the bulldozers was rendered inoperative when the massive dozer blade detached, one of its large retaining pins having broken. The blade weighed several tons, and because they did not have the necessary equipment to lift it out of the mud, the remaining pins were removed and the blade was completely detached. The men planned to conduct the necessary repairs to the dozer overnight and would reattach the blade the following day. So the crew and their equipment went home for the day, leaving the blade stuck in the mud.
Y'all hear?
The next
Listen.
morning, however, the crew was startled to return to the site, only to find that the massive blade had disappeared. Even more startling were the now 3 to 4 foot long humanoid footprints appearing in the mud around where the blade had been lodged.
3 to 4 foot footprints.
After scouting the surrounding area, the blade was found about 100 meters away on the side of a small hill. Baffled, the men realized that something with very large feet had seemingly picked up the blade and moved it.
Do y'all hear this?
Possibly it had even thrown the heavy blade a good distance based on where the footprints ended and where the blade was found. This story offers at least something to compare with the stories regarding the Japanese encounters, in that the locals and mine workers always left the jungle areas before nightfall. The Japanese soldiers, however, had no choice but to remain in the deep jungle recesses overnight for months, which might explain why they and these giants eventually crossed paths. If at all true, the giants perhaps became annoyed by their prolonged invasion of their territory, the noise of the gunfire, or otherwise felt threatened by these armed men, which resulted in their violent responses.
Do y'all hear that? Do y'all hear that? Those are not myths. Those are not legends. That is reality. And the Old Testament lets you know that there are giants out there that can make a human being look like a grasshopper. The book of Enoch tells you that those giants begin eating people because the giants ate so much food. Once they ran through all the food, then they turned on mankind and started eating men alive on the spot. And here we have, in modern days, 1940s, they telling stories of giants, man-eating giants. Family, get ready. It's the reason you've been hearing all this talk about aliens, giants, Nephilim. Get this through your head, family. The giants are here. Is there anybody out there who's heard about the giants in Afghanistan? The giants of Kandahar, the orange-haired giants. Family, this is not a myth. This is real. The book of Enoch is not a myth. You guys might not want to hear it. I know it goes against everything that you've been taught your whole life. Oh, that's fiction. Oh, that's blasphemy. Oh, yeah? Prove it. Prove it. When I can read in Genesis chapter 6, the sons of God, and I know that that's talking about angels. It didn't say the sons of men saw the daughters of men. It said the sons of God saw the daughters of men. You can't understand the way that that's worded, family? You can't understand that. You can't understand that the Nephilim come from angels, who the watchers, who were supposed to have been watching humanity, but they went and decided they wanted to be lustful, and they went in unto women. I know many of you have a hard time believing that because that's not what mainstream pushes. The Nephilim still have seed on this earth in those days and after that, which is today. King David fought plenty of giants. Joshua fought plenty of giants. Some of those giants are taller as cedar trees. And family, believe this. I know y'all not going to believe this because y'all don't believe that we live in the kind of earth that we do, where creatures like Godzilla, a.k.a. Leviathan, can exist. You won't believe the book of Enoch when the book of Enoch tells you there are giants who are 2 miles tall. Did you hear me, family? Yeah, I said 2 miles tall. Look, but why should you be surprised by that? Why should you be surprised by that when there were giants that can make a human being look like a grasshopper? Some of the giants are tall as cedar trees. Cedar trees are hundreds of feet tall. Where do you think they get these stories from, like Jack and the Beanstalk? Huh? Gulliver Travels, the giant Gulliver, surrounded by small little people like that. Where do you think they get these stories from? Paul Bunyan. You think that they just made this stuff up, huh? You guys got no idea what kind of planet that you live on. But soon you're getting ready to find out. 2024 is going to be a hell of a year. And they started off wasting no time with reports of aliens, interdimensional beings, demons, Nephilim, whatever you want to call them. Those people saw something at that mall on New Year's. You guys can believe it or not believe it. I'm just trying to give you a heads up so that you don't have a heart attack when you see something that you ain't never seen before. Maybe you'll see a Nephilim. Maybe you'll see a giant. Plenty of people in the military who in Afghanistan, they know about the giants. They might not tell you about it, but it's people who've been in the military. They've been in the Middle East. They've been to Afghanistan. They know about the giants of Kandahar. If anybody out there knows anybody who's been in the military the last 15, 20 years, ask them if they know about the giants of Kandahar, the giants of Afghanistan, and see what they tell you. Maybe they'll be honest with you. Won't you give it a try? I'm just trying to give you guys a heads up. You better turn to the Most High and Him alone. You better start keeping the Most High's laws, because guess what? Just like the book of Enoch said, giants were eating people. Just like this clip in this video I just showed you in Solomon's Island, 1942, giants were eating people. You think those giants over in Kandahar and Afghanistan are not eating people as we speak? You're out of your mind. 1968, heaven is my throne and earth. Hold on. 1968, heaven is my throne and the earth is my footstool. What type of house can you build for me? What type of house can you build for me? Acts 7, verse 49. 1968, we don't believe in the New Testament over here. The New Testament is blasphemous and it's idolatry. We don't engage in any New Testament over here. Isaiah 66, verse 1, true words of God. Okay, I can get with that. But we don't do New Testament around here. This is an Old Testament only. We don't believe in Christ. We don't believe in Yeshua, Yahweh, none of that. We believe in Yahweh, the God of Israel, the God of the 12 tribes, the mighty one of Jacob, and Him alone. We don't subscribe to the New Testament teachings. You guys out there, you better pass Hebrew 101. Because guess what? Only Most High knows what He got in store for you idolaters out there. You 2/3, you Gentiles out there. Why do you think you're hearing so much talk about all these creatures? Shadow creatures, Nephilim, aliens, giants. Why do you think you're hearing all this talk now? Why now? Why haven't you been hearing all this talk the previous 10, 15, 20 years? Because it wasn't time. The giants are back. They're here. Okay? The end times are here. You might think it's a game, but guess what? Like I told you, somebody is on this channel. You're going to see something. And hey, I encourage you guys. I want to know if anybody watching this video, anybody who comes that's on this channel, if you see something, only the Most High knows what you will see. I want you to come back to this video and drop it in the comment section and let us know what you saw. Because I have a strange feeling 2024 is going to be a very revealing and telling year, family. I just wanted to make you get your antennas up, to get your ears up. I want you to pay attention to your surroundings because the Nephilim are here. They never went nowhere. They were hiding for a while because that's what time it was. Some of them live on islands. Some of them live deep, deep, deep in the woods, deep in the bush, deep in the forest. Okay, only the Most High knows. Is that perhaps one of the reasons why thousands of people go missing in America's woods every year? I don't know. I don't know why thousands of people in America go missing every year deep in the woods. Never to be seen again, no body, no bones, no nothing. Okay, but it's got to be something. I don't know what it is, but I do know the giants are out there. I do know that the Nephilim are out there. And people are starting to see things that they've never seen before. And the more deeper we get into the end game, the more you're not going to be able to explain it away. You're not going to be able to deny it. So Hebrew, I hope you take something from this video. I hope you understand that the giants are here. You better get on your job, Hebrew. You better turn back to the Most High and him alone while you still have a chance. Tav X, Hebrews, purity and becoming one. Till next time, Hebrews.